Today we're going to talk about South Carolina gun law. If you live in the state of South Carolina, or if you frequent South Carolina on a regular basis and have firearms in your possession, it would do you very well to pick up a South Carolina gun law book. Here are the authors of the book. Steve Shaw, really great guy, knows his stuff, has represented quite a few Second Amendment violations and has upheld them. And there's a local range here, in fact, really close to my house, that he did a lot of great work toward and helped defend them. Jim Kelly as well, an attorney, and I met both of these guys at the gun show in Greenville about a month or so ago. Great guys, and they had books there for sale, which I thought was a great service. I mean, these are attorneys. They don't, they're sitting out here at a booth, really trying to do their best to spread the word. And then we have G. Curtis Moore Jr., who has been in law enforcement and military for a number of years. So these guys put all of this together. And then as well with a legislative consultant, Robert D. Butler, who really helped with a lot of the research and there at the Capitol. So just want to say thank you to these guys for putting together a great resource for the gun owner. In fact, what was really funny was when I first received this book from Steve, my wife got a hold of it, and it took me a while to get it away from her. It's very interesting reading. Content is just really excellent, and we're just going to kind of do a little summary of this little book. Great resource. This is the first edition, and of course, I'm sure there'll be revised editions as well. I will give you the contact information, his website, and how to get a hold of this book. But like I said, a lot of your local gun shops are keeping these, and there will be annual updates of this book. So, and you can also go online to get the book, to get the updates as well. Warnings and disclaimers. One of the things that too you really want to be careful of in any kind of publication is that use this as a guide. But one of the things that he said in his book is your brain is your first line of defense. Guys, you need to use common sense when approaching different subjects. Now, as you've seen in my earlier Traveler's Guide to the Firearms Laws of the 50 States, this is quite a bit more in depth than the small summary that we read. And even this book doesn't contain everything. One of the things first is going through kind of your federal the right to keep and bear arms, and some of the background of your federal position as possession of firearms. And then we go straight into North Carolina to South Carolina transition that we're making. I'm having to learn a lot of this stuff again. Even though I was born and raised in South Carolina, I've been in North Carolina for over 20 years and still making a transition. I haven't fully moved down here yet, so we're getting that taken care of, but I really wanted to get all of this in my mind ahead of time. Then there are legal issues that you need to consider, and here they are: the legal requirements for buying ammunition and guns, just age, what if you inherit a gun, what are your rights. This just goes into different things about gun ownership, which is very important. Then also it moves on over to legal disability. What if you have a legal disability against owning a firearm? If you're charged, if you have a felony charge or some kind of even an assault charge, you can be disallowed to have possession of a firearm, and you need to know what that is and also how to remedy that. He gives you ways on how to remove a state disability, which I think is really important, especially if it's something that is a very minor infraction. We go into CCW as well, and he talks about concealed carry. There is a lot of detail about CCW, or CWP is what they call it, and the size of the signs, different things, places you can and cannot carry legally. Even when you're in class, a lot of times, you can listen, but you may not get everything you need, and this just gives you an extra resource. CWP is very important. All over the country, it's a big movement. A lot of people are getting their concealed carry, and so this is a very important section. Possessing and transporting guns without a permit, and how you can do that if you don't choose to have a CWP or CCW. How to carry. One of the things that's really funny is here in North Carolina, you have to have the gun out on the seat when you're driving. And in South Carolina, you're supposed to have it in your glove compartment or in a console. And what's really mixed up about that is when you're driving back and forth across the state line, which I do on a very regular basis, as I've said. So knowing the law is very important when you cross that state line. Now, one of the things under this heading is also where you can carry, as far as what's the difference between parks and forests and states, your schools, businesses. What if you're in a boat? What kind of laws apply if you're on a motorcycle, etc. Just all the different things that you have to be careful of when transporting firearms away from your property. Now here, Chapter 6, Weapons and Crimes and Lawsuits. What is a crime? And I'll tell you, there are just all kind of different headings here to be careful of. A couple of the really funny ones that I thought were taking a weapon from a law enforcement officer. Now, you want to run out and do that immediately, and shooting at trains. But these are things that you need to be careful of, and you need to know. I'll tell you, some of the people I've run into, they probably need to read some of this, I think. Now here there's a section on self-defense, which is extremely, of course, important, and knowing when you can and cannot use. There are the 4 elements of self-defense in South Carolina. It lists those. There's so many different things that you really need to know about it, being in your home, being in your car. I really highly recommend this book if you are a South Carolinian or you frequent the state of South Carolina and know your gun laws. For those who carry a gun or come in contact with firearms, you really can't be too careful. So know your gun laws, practice gun safety, and good judgment. Now you can pick up the South Carolina gun law at a number of local gun shops around the area, and I know here in Greenville there are quite a few. Price is $19.95. I will have his website included so you can look it up and research and take a look for yourself, but highly recommend this book. I want to say thanks to Steve Shaw. He sent me this book, and I told him, I said, this is great. I'm excited about doing a review. I said, the only way I'll take it, though, is if you sign it, which he did for me. These men have put together and spent time in this to put this together to deliver to South Carolinians that they know their gun laws and that you don't find yourself in a bad situation unaware. And as always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more fun gun reviews and sensible survival. God bless America. Long live the Republic.
Before you go and start shooting at trains, you need to read this book. And if you want to rip some gun off of the policeman, keep him from shooting you, you probably want to read this book too. You hear what I'm saying?